The international body charged with eliminating Syria's chemical weapons is claiming success. The Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons says the country has met an important deadline for ending its ability to produce the weapons. CBC's Middle East correspondent Sasha Petrusik is on the story. He joins me live from Jerusalem. What's actually been accomplished here, Sasha?
Well, Suhanna, what the inspectors say is that they have put essentially padlocks on the equipment itself. It is still in Syria. It is still, I guess, theoretically available, but they say that the Syrian government cannot have access to it anymore. What we're talking about is about 1,000 tons of raw materials that could be put into weapons. We're talking about sarin gas. We're talking about some types of sulfur, very nasty stuff that the Syrian government has been accused of using. It denies it, of course, but the United States and other countries, including the UN, have accused it of using it against its own population. That's why these inspectors were sent in. They now say that they have in fact, inspected something like 21 out of 23 sites where Syria says it has these weapons, and that in these places, the chemicals are, in fact, now not able to be used. There are, in fact, there's some question about how many sites there really are. There are 2 other sites that the inspectors could not get to because of fighting. And there's also the question that there could be at least another 20. The Americans going into this had said that there were 45 sites where chemical weapons were believed to be held. We're not quite sure what's going to happen with those other 20, but the inspectors seem quite sure that the Syrian military does not have access to chemical weapons, or certainly not any significant amount of chemical weapons now, and that is no longer an issue.
What about the significant stockpile of chemical weapons? What's the next step in this process, Sasha?
Well, that is a good question. There is still the raw materials. In other words, that if Syria really wanted to, it obviously has the know-how. It could, in fact, pull together more of the very raw materials, the unfinished chemicals, and create more weapons. This stuff has not been put under lock and key. The inspectors say that that's their next mission. Their next mission will also be to try to get to those other 2 sites that could, in fact, have significant amounts of chemical weapons, and potentially another 20, as I say, that could be spread all over the place. There have been a number of other rumors that Syria is trying to whisk some of this out of the country, perhaps even bury it in Lebanon or in other places. None of that has been shown to be true. And in fact, the 2 countries that I guess promoted this process the strongest, that is the Americans and the Russians, are touting it as one success, a way that things can be accomplished in this very messy conflict without sending in foreign troops or foreign airplanes even.